One thing that I always tell to my clients is that we don't actually get to decide what goes viral. It's our audience. Hi, my name is Axel, founder and managing director at USAD Creative Marketing, and I'm also a social media marketing strategist and coach. Now, in this video, we're going to discuss why organic growth is as important as doing paid ads, and how it can also help you or your brand long term. And this is actually episode 2 of our social media marketing learning series here on YouTube. The first episode was an introduction to social media marketing, which was almost an hour long kasi I really wanted everyone to understand the fundamentals and yung pinaka-basic para moving forward, hindi na magulo yung mga terms and mas madali intindihin. And before we actually proceed, I want to thank everyone who watched the first episode and especially sa mga comments that you left. Honestly, ilang araw akong kinikilig, basahin lahat yun. And before we start, let's actually read some of the comments just as my appreciation to everyone. Alright, so let's actually read some of the comments here. So this is from episode 1. See, we have a lot of great comments. Thank you very much talaga sa pag-comment dito. I appreciate everything. Alright, so one comment from Paul Aganon. Thank you so much, Axel. Won't regret subscribing because your contents on TikTok and here on YouTube are very insightful. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Paul, for that wonderful comment. I really appreciate it. And yes, as much as possible, I'll make everything insightful for everyone. Another comment is this. Living for this. As an INTJ, it really frustrates me how some content do not show the entire picture of how the details relate to each other or even how they all work together. Discovered you by accident, actually. Nelson and I actually talked about this in a group na kasali kami pareho and in-explain niya na he appreciates how I explain things to him. Kasi ganun talaga ako. I always have my personal take on everything that I learn and everything that I teach. It's not just by the book or kung ano yung mga nabasa ko. I usually share my experiences, my thoughts, and I also want the bigger picture when it comes to explaining and learning. So, thank you very much, Nelson, and you can expect more of this in the future. And here's another comment from Christian Estrada. So sabi niya, I'm a traditional marketing bias, but most of your point agree ako. Congrats, Pat. Patagal ng patagal, pagaling ka ng pagaling. I'm so happy and proud of you. I will not be surprised if someday isa ka na sa mga speaker na nga-attendan kong seminar or yung a-applyan ko or i-contact ko na ad agency for working purpose, ikaw pala may-ari. So, this is one of the comments that really hit hard. Kasi Christian, he's actually a friend of mine. And he has been following what I've been doing on social media. And I have been promoting my personal brand for almost, I think, 3 years now. And ever since from the start, he has been there. So I really appreciate it, Ian. And yes, for everyone who does not know, I actually do speaking events. Most of the time privately, lalo sa mga Zoom sessions with other companies. Or for example, if you want me to speak about social media marketing, branding, anything related to digital marketing, I can do that. So yeah, baka naman. Diba? Who wouldn't love to read those comments? So if you have any questions, topic suggestions, moving forward, just let me know in the comments. Alright, let's actually start. Alright, so what is an organic growth in social media? Now, organic growth is anything that you can do with social media that is for free. So it doesn't involve the paid or sponsored ads. Lahat ng post, lahat ng activity na ginagawa mo na for free sa social media, that is considered organic. And I believe everyone here has done an organic post once or twice in your life. Especially if you're watching this video. For all my social media marketer friends or even my friends watching this video, if you've shared a post before or for example, yung milk tea na minayday mo dati, yung mga memes na sinishare mo, yung pagtanong mo ng question sa groups, yung kapitbahay mo na ini-status mo, lahat yon organic activity. Now, if you're a social media marketer or for brands or businesses, the question is, why is it important? Alright, so organic growth is important because this is how you build your brand. In social media, combo talaga yung organic and paid ads. Kasi for example, gumawa ka ng isang ad. Yung mga sponsored ad na nakikita nyo sa feed nyo, di ba? For example, nakita ka ng ganon. This is what usually happens. So number one, once we see the ad, our initial reaction is we would stalk the page and we would look at what they're doing. Which means karamihan ang makikita nila sa page mo are your organic posts. So your organic post should be as good or even better than your paid ads. It's also important kasi not all brands or businesses have the budget to create paid ads. And honestly, paid ads are a bit more complicated than doing organic posts. So if you're starting in the social media marketing space, organic activity is your friend. Kasi nga, it's easier plus it's more affordable. It's free actually. So since we already know the difference between organic and paid posts, let's head on to the interesting topic. The moment we've all been waiting for. So how can we actually grow our social media pages organically? I'll be sharing 5 tips you can do for your brand or your business. Alright, so number 1. You need to personalize your brand. Now, this has been a proven marketing strategy kahit business ka, especially for personal brands. Importante pa rin na you personalize everything. Now, why is it important to personalize your brand or your content? Here's one reason. Social media is a personal thing. I've said this over and over for all my coaching sessions. And I think I've also mentioned this sa episode 1 ng Social Media Marketing Learning Series. But let me just reiterate it for everyone. So, people go to social media to be updated by their family, their friends, or the pages that they like. So tayo as business owners or brands na nagpro-promote sa social media, imagine kakompetensya na nga natin yung mga same businesses in the same industry, tapos kakompetensya pa natin yung family, friends, yung mga trends, yung mga pages that our audience like. So divided talaga yung attention when people go to social media. And the only thing that would stop them from looking at your post is if we personalize our content and if we personalize our brand. Remember, sa social media, hindi na nagwo-work ang hard selling. Brands and businesses would look ingenuine and hindi authentic if we're just promoting on social media, if we're just selling. Now, how can we personalize our brand or our businesses? Now, we can personalize our content by sharing our experiences sa business natin or sa brand natin. Kaya nga pansinin nyo, yung mga vloggers ngayon, kahit paulit-ulit lang yung mga content nila, yung mga titles sa content nila like what's in your bag or yung mga mukbang content, kahit paulit-ulit lang yan, people still watch the videos. And why do they watch it? It's because kahit paulit-ulit lang yung mga topics, still iba pa rin yung gumagawa. Ibang tao yung gumagawa. Which means, probably iba yung pagkaka-deliver ng message, iba yung pagkaka-deliver ng jokes. Because it's personalized. That's why yung trend pagdating sa mga vlogs and YouTube, umangat talaga. Kasi it's more personalized than all of the other content out there. Another example, alright, let's use a brand. For example, let's use Angkas. So if you're not familiar with Angkas, it's a transportation app that we can use para we can book it and then riders or mga yung motorcycle riders would pick us up. Parang Grab siya or Uber. So ang marketing strategy nila is besides sharing memes, they're building this community of consumers and yung mga riders nila. And they're building it around this very healthy space or very healthy community. There's this ad na ginawa actually ng Angkas for National Heroes Day where na-highlight na nga yung safetyness and yung convenience using the Angkas app. Plus, may na-build pa silang connection sa audience nila with the message na heroes need saving too. Let's actually watch the ad from Angkas para you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. Alright, let's actually watch the video or the ad from Angkas, National Heroes Day ad. Grabe. Sorry, share ko lang. Pinapanood ko lang talaga yung video, pero nafe-feel ko yung hassle. Great job, Angkas. Grabe. That was such a good ad by Angkas. Grabe. Hands down. I'm not sure kung ako lang ba, pero I really felt the human connection. This is the great thing when it comes to creating advertisements. The ads that I live for are the advertisements na very humanly, yung may connection talaga, yung may personal experience. Just like what Angkas did. And I'm not sure about you, pero ako, I really felt that ad. Like nung una pa nga lang, di ba, may comment ako na nafe-feel ko na yung hassle and everything. So, ang ganda rin nung last part where it stated there, heroes need saving too. Good job, Angkas. This is a very great ad. Alright, nakikita ba natin si Angkas na laging promote, or laging hina-hard sell yung app nila? Nakikita ba natin na yung mga pinopost nila is laging book with us now? Of course not. Kasi kapag yun yung mga nakikita nating klaseng content, nakakasawa. They're successful with this approach, and especially with the ads and the content that they're creating, because they're personalizing the experience. Alright, for our second tip, you need to engage. Now, if you're a beginner in social media, these two tips that I would be sharing to you would be very easy to do. I have a lot of other tips that I can share to you in the future, pero of course, not everyone here might relate. So let's just keep it simple. We'll get to that in the future, alright? So the first engagement tip that I want to share to you is to create engaging posts. Now, examples of an engagement post is yung mga memes na nakikita natin. Kasi people react to it, and uso siya sa Philippines, di ba? Uso siya especially kapag may mga bagong trends or may mga bagong updates. One post na funny, na maraming tao ang makita can get you a lot of reach and can get you brand awareness already, lalo na when that gets shared. So the first one is by doing or creating memes. Now, I understand that not all businesses can do that kasi some businesses are very professional, and that's okay. That's just one tip that I wanted to share so we can personalize the experience. Here's another tip that any business or any brand can actually do. So the other content approach that we can do is to talk to our audience. Now, how can we talk to our audience? We can do that by asking questions, by doing polls, surveys that's relevant to our industry. And honestly, this is actually one of the most successful things that I did personally in my brand. I always ask people what their struggles are when it comes to digital marketing, which usually spark conversations that eventually led to sales. The good thing about asking questions is that it's another form of research that can get our audience involved. Now, one idea on how we can do this as a startup, or for example, bagong business ka pa lang, is this. So let's say I just created a logo for my business. This is one post that we can do. We all know that a logo is an essential to every business kasi it's the face of our brand. So instead of just uploading a logo and deciding, why not involve our audience? For example, we can do it like this. So we can try to create a post with a caption, "Hi guys, we're deciding to choose from these two logos. Please help us decide." Something like that. So the reason why this is good is if you've watched the previous episode where I discussed the topic engagement, I mentioned that there are people who loves to be a part of something sa social media. And imagine if tayo yung audience and nag-vote tayo sa poll. For example, pinili natin si logo number 1. Then nanalo yung logo na gusto natin. Psychologically speaking, we'd feel like a part of the brand already. So the tendency is we'll support the brand all throughout. Whether bibili tayo sa kanila or i-share natin yung mga post na ginagawa nila. Now, you might be thinking na sobrang ahead naman nun, lalo na sa expectations. Pero as a brand or as a business in social media, we really need to invest in engagement to win long term. Anything that we can actually do to engage with our audience, that would help us. Kasi pag sisisihan mo kapag tumagal na yung business mo and walang engagement masyado, especially from the start, tapos nakilala na yung business mo, for example. Now, if we want to implement the engagement, tapos for example, meron na tayong mga 500 likes or followers sa page natin, it would be hard to engage with them kasi hindi naman sanay yung audience natin na nakikipag-engage tayo sa kanila. So, maganda na if we're just starting out, let's try to keep the questions coming, diba? Let's try to get the surveys going. Let's try to involve our audience every time we do a content, every time we do a campaign, every time we do an ad. Let's try to involve everyone. Let's practice engagement. Engagement is actually free. Effort lang ang kailangan natin. So, Galingan na natin, di ba? Alright, so another engagement idea that I want to share to you is by engaging with your personal contacts. Now, dito, hindi na business page ang gagamitin mo. Like na-mention ko kanina, everyone can actually do this. Very basic. Ang gagamitin mo dito is your personal account. Now, how can we engage with our personal contacts? So, what I would recommend doing is to engage with your friends on social media. That might be a simple happy birthday greeting, mag-congrats ka sa post nila, kapag meron silang mga achievements, i-support mo din kapag may business sila. As a brand or a business owner, it is your responsibility to build your sphere and create a positive environment for you and your business. Sorry, palitan natin yung word na positive. Medyo nakakatakot yun marinig ngayon. So, comment positive if agree kayo sa akin. And just a quick algorithm hack. So, by doing this, the algorithms will detect na connected yung personal account mo sa mga kinomentan mo na friends before. And next time na mag-share ka ng mga business content mo, lalabas din sa feed nila yon. That's a very important algorithm hack for you. Again, kung kanino ka nakikipag-engage sa social media, the algorithm will detect it and will show your posts to them. If hindi mo masyadong naintindihan, i-replay mo na lang yung part na yun paulit-ulit para magets mo yung hack. Pero basically, what I'm telling is that yung social media platforms kasi, meron silang algorithms. And if ever you would be engaging with a certain type of person, for example, ako, kaibigan ko si Mark Zuckerberg, for example. Now, kapag ako nag-comment ako sa mga posts ni Mark Zuckerberg, yung social media, yung sistema ni social media, madedetect nila yon. So, once they detect it, the next time that I would be posting, since nakuha nga nung system nila yon, ang gagawin nila, ipapakita nila yung mga posts or yung mga shared posts ko kay Mark Zuckerberg. Kasi nakita na nag-e-engage sila from time to time. They must be close. So, that's the reason why that is an algorithm hack for you. Number 3 is to use hashtags. Now, this is a very underrated technique na hindi na masyadong ginagamit ng mga tao or even businesses. But this is in the social media platforms algorithms for a reason. And when I say hashtags, I don't mean this type of hashtags. What I mean by hashtags are the ones that are actually searchable in your industry. So when we're creating a hashtag, let's imagine na yung mga words na gagamitin natin are usually the words that people search for in our industry or in our business. Like for example, ako, I'm a digital marketer. The hashtags that I would be using are hashtag social media marketing, hashtag digital marketer, hashtag marketing coach. We have to think like the audience na magsa-search sa mga platforms. They won't search for hashtag magaling na coach. And a tip for this one, you can easily do your research for hashtags even if you search on Google. Just type in effective hashtags in blank or in your industry. And in another episode, I'll discuss a few tools that we can actually use so we can find the most effective hashtags for our business. But if you're really curious, I have a bonus for you. Go ahead and check out Neon Tools. They have this tool called Hashtag Analyzer where you can see kung ilan yung gumagamit ng isang hashtag na yon sa industry mo. Number 4 is to level up your branding. One thing that consumers do when it comes to finding the right products na bibili nila is they stalk the business page. And what if makita nila na very lousy yung mga visuals na ginagamit natin and yung logo natin unappealing? Do you think they would push through in buying your products or availing your services? 85% of consumers buy products because of its branding. And just a fun fact, do you know why Coca-Cola has been crushing it ever since they started? It's because they invested a whole lot of money into their branding. Yung logo nila na very classic, na makita mo lang, recognizable agad, alam mong Coca-Cola agad yon. And yung mga advertisements nila nakalat sa mga billboards, sa TV, sa radio, and even sa social media. And even yung tunog ng Coke na pag narinig mong binuksan, mauuhaw ka talaga. That is branding. A good branding can gain your audience trust, so you really need to invest in it. And number 5 organic growth tip for you is follow a regular time of posting. Now, in order for your audience to follow you, you need to create an easy path for them to follow. What I mean by that is you should have a system that's fit to your audience liking. Kasi people like routines. Consider your content na parang daily newspaper na bubuksan and babasahin ng mga audience natin while they're sipping their coffee. By following a regular regular schedule, your audience will expect when you are going to post, and at least alam nila na may ina-expect sila for a certain type of day. Like for example, nagpo-post ka every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 'di ba? At least alam nila na, uy, may aabangan ako for that day. Kesa yung araw-araw na lang nilang i-check yung business page mo and mapapagod sila kasi hindi naman nila alam. Wala silang assurance kung kailan ka ba talaga nagpo-post. And eventually, pag napagod na sila, baka hindi na nila i-check actually yung mga pinopost mo na content. Now, your question might be, what is the right time to post? Marami na rin actually nagtatanong sa akin yan. And if you're following me on TikTok, I actually created a content and you might know how to do this already kasi I've explained this one. But for our random searchers and learners, let me teach you a trick on how to determine the best time for you to post on social media. I'll be demoing for Facebook. Now, there's actually a blog by Sprout Social, sikat to, where they did a research and found out the best times and days to post. So, if your page is new, since wala ka pa namang insights, you can try to follow the recommended best times to post na binigay sa article na to. This is for all the platforms. Meron silang Facebook, meron silang Instagram and Twitter. So this is very helpful. But if matagal ka na nagpo-post, then this is something that you need to learn. So since you've been posting for quite some time now, you already have some data that you can study. And that's an important thing that you need to do as a social media marketer. Always study your audience. Now, how can we do that? So there's a reason why there is an insights tab on your Facebook page. Now, let's do a live demo on how you can study your audience. Let's try Facebook. So right now, I'm showing you my screen. Nandito tayo ngayon sa page ni Usad Creative Marketing. This is our page. So if you can like and follow and share the post, some of the posts there, anything that has to do with social media marketing, you can go ahead and follow our page and you'd learn a lot from it as well. More on infographics. So yeah, let me demo how we can actually study our audience using the Insights tab. So here on your left, as you can see, meron ditong mga tabs. First thing that you need to do is find the Insights tab. Click on the Insights tab. It's already loading your data. And once you go to the Insights tab, ipapakita niya yung parang overview nung buong page. Alright, so ito yung mga posts na ginawa mo before. So how can we determine the best times to post? So what you need to do is go here sa post, here on your left side. Click on posts and then you would see here, ito yung mga reach. Tapos ito yung times as well nasa baba. Yung time dito is different. I think it's in Central Standard Time kasi I have clients internationally as I've mentioned before. So again, you just need to go to the page, click on Insights, and then click on Posts, and then mapupunta ka na dun sa tinignan natin. So as I've mentioned kanina, if you're just a starting business owner, probably wala ka pa ng mga insights na to kasi syempre wala ka pa namang content. So you need to follow yung Sprout Social. You need to experiment if you want. You can try posting in the morning, afternoon, and also in the evening para at least matest mo yung audience mo. Kasi ito yung sa blog ni Sprout Social, it's a generalized research. So ito na yung standard for all the businesses. Pero it might work for you, it might not work for you. That's why I would recommend trying out that first if wala ka pang posts. And then, try to test it out for yourself. And then, once you've tried posting already, go to the Insights tab and then study your audience. Tignan mo kung tuwing kailan ba sila online, tuwing kailan ka nakakuha ng maraming reach, what day, what time. So, those are 5 organic growth hacks that you can practice for your brand. Now, if you really want to grow your brand on social media, you need to follow these tips. Kasi first of all, this is free and it works. I've done that with all of my clients. A part of my strategy when working with my clients is that before I even jump into the paid ads, as much as possible, I would maximize the potential of the brand's organic growth. Kasi this is really the foundation. As I've mentioned earlier, organic activities and paid ads are a combination. Combo talaga sila. Sila yung the perfect riding in tandem to steal your audience's hearts. That's very witty. One tip that I can share is to stay consistent because social media is a quantity game. Again, if you can do both quality and quantity, then that would be the perfect scenario for every business or every brand. But just like what I said from my last vlog, episode 1, quality is subjective while quantity is not. So feeling natin minsan sa ginagawa nating content, very quality na siya, pero for other people, still they might not think that quality yung ginagawa natin. One thing that I always tell to my clients is that we don't actually get to decide what goes viral. It's our audience. So as much as possible, we need to feed them these types of content, different types of content. Let's diversify our content creation process para at least they have a lot to take in. Make sure that you're always implementing these strategies to grow your brand. Provide value to your audience by personalizing your brand, by engaging with them, by using hashtags, by leveling up your branding, and by following a regular time of posting. Once you actually implement these 5 tips that I shared to you, I guarantee you that your audience would love what you're doing and what they're seeing on their social media, and they would stick around. Alright, so that's actually episode 2 of our social media marketing learning series. Again, as much as possible, I'd like to build out the basics or the foundation or the fundamentals first, and then we'll proceed with the more complicated topics. Kasi I understand that not everyone who's watching this video might know about digital marketing or social media marketing. So, step-by-step tutorial to, itong social media marketing learning series natin that everyone can learn, even beginners. Kasi ako personally, when I started with digital marketing, that was 6 years ago, I didn't have much resource. So, putol-putol nung natututo ako. So, I tried courses, I tried books, YouTube, and I tried a lot of stuff. And it was really hard to learn back then because social media wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even a profession. If you ask me like 6 to 8 years ago, it wasn't a thing. So, it was really hard to learn about all of these before. But what I'm sharing you right now is backed up by experience. I hope that this would really help you grow your brand. So yeah, I guess that's it for our second episode. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it if you leave a comment as well if you have other topic suggestions. We already have episodes 3 to 10 almost ready. I'll be updating on my social media pages on Facebook, Instagram. Again, my name is Axel, and I hope I have helped you with this video. You all have a great day. Create and make it happen.